saw you get put on the pads, lace them up. Big Papa worked on the cardio. How'd that go?
So we were short guys at practice, and I kind of got the idea from talking to the coaches, like, man, these guys are kind of being soft. I feel like I could come in here and, I haven't played,
It's been a minute.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't played competitively in like 6 years at least. But I've always been a pretty hands-on coach because I feel young and still able to do it. So with the younger age groups, I definitely throw on the bucket every now and then and like get in there and give them some work, Because the thing is, I know what it's like to play football when you're a kid, and when the coach says, yeah, you go against each other, as long as you both look like you're trying, but you're half-assing everything, then you get off the hook.
You got that verbal agreement.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting hurt. You're not getting hurt.
Yeah.
We'll sweat a little.
Exactly. Everyone knows how that goes. And I'm like, fuck that. You're going against me now, and I'm going to give you this work. You better work hard.
no.
I'm going to body you. And now I'll go and, I'll take everyone's rep and give them a good look. So I've been doing that for a few years now.
Okay.
And I would say up into the midget group, which is like up to like 18-year-olds. I mean, I was pretty good at doing it without even wearing shoes. So like I don't even need cleats, and I could usually body them pretty easily. So I was like, these guys are 17 to 22, grown men for the most part, some younger guys in there. But like, they're kind of at the age that I played when I was in college. So out of respect, I'll put on cleats.
If you didn't put on cleats, I would have stomped on your foot for them.
You would have
Like,
tried,
that is
but I'm
so-
too good at that.
That is so obnoxious. If you would have went sandals, you show
I
up
go
to practice
barefoot.
full everything. Oh,
barefoot.
man.
I played team. I took team reps in bare feet against the midget kids all the time. I never wore cleats with them once, and I didn't have to. And they didn't step on my feet. They couldn't if they tried. You don't think I'm not aware of that? Give me a break, Kyle.
If you're playing on the line, okay, keep going. Doesn't matter. It's completely disrespectful. I'm glad you put on the cleats.
I put on the cleats to show
Yes.
them respect. These kids have been training their ass off. There's some of them are pretty good. But unfortunately, I dusted them. I've just been playing football for too long. It wasn't even really fair, to be honest. I think we did like one-on-one reps. I was like 5 for 5. It wasn't even close.
You sent me that video, and I was like, "Oh man, that offensive lineman needs to move."
Yeah, there's some guys that need some help. And I took team reps on scout team. Just because, like I said, we were short guys too, so like it wasn't even. That was the kind of the condition that made it okay for me, because like it's a more competitive football team. We got to take things seriously. I don't want to take reps to get away from guys that are actually still trying to make the roster. But we had so many guys out on the D-line that the guys that were taking reps as the starters that week, they also were taking the scout team reps too. So I was like,
"What is scout team?"
Scout team. So basically, and more competitive football team. So basically anything past high school. No one plays two ways anymore, right?
Yeah.
So everyone has their designated offensive and defensive position. Now, the starting defense will come up against the backup offense, but the backup offense players won't be running our offense. They'll be running the next week opponent offense. So through film study, we'll know what they do. We'll get our backups to execute those plays so we can see them in front of us. And with our film study and seeing it in front of us, we can be better prepared for what's to come. That being said, flip it. Now you have the starting offense versus the backup defensive players, and we'll line up in formations that you'll typically see from the defense that we're playing that week. I did that. I just played scout team defense. There wasn't enough guys to finish the whole thing anyway, so it didn't really matter. But it was fun. I mean, yeah, I didn't lose at all, but I was like, it was just like the technique and like the knowing your responsibilities. It was just like, I don't know. It's just it's clearly a big advantage. And I kind of like, I told the guys after practice, like, here's your learning lesson. I'm fucking 28 off the couch. Haven't been in the gym in at least 2 years. Like the gas tank is next to zero.
Yeah.
Like I've got like no cardio. Not even like my warm up too. Cause like they're like, coach, you can do the warm up with us. And I'm looking at them like standing up and I'm like, like you guys are standing. I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I have that. Like, I was like, butt kickers? Like, I don't want to like burn myself out, So I was like, I looked at the trainer and I was like, ooh, there's a little stationary bike. I was like, ooh, let me get on the bike for a minute. So I get on the bike. I'm like, and I'm like, 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, I was starting to sweat. I was like, all right, I'm done. And I was like, oh, you know what? I knew my whole career, I always had like tight hip flexors and stuff and tight groin. So I always had to make sure I like stretched it a little bit. And like do some like they're called get offs. Basically it's just like when you get your 3-point stance and you just like explode out, get the movements going, get the twitch muscles going. Sense, just to get the grease, the grease has been caked on for a minute. Like I feel slow, but it was still okay. And so I did like 2, just 2. And I was like, you know what? I was like, all right, I'm like feeling it. I sat on the bench again. I kind of like leaned forward to get a bit of a groin stretch. And then,
pause. I leaned forward.
Yeah, like I was like sitting on the bench and I was like, oh, yeah, right there.
There it is.
That's my favorite part is that you counted it. It wasn't just like part of your routine. Like, no. This is how I warm up.
Yeah.
I lean forward and then I lean back.
Well, I mean, like, hey, like the lion's the king of the jungle. You don't see the lion stretch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
Cheetah don't stretch.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's ready. It's ready to go.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lion over here.
I was just like, I'm kind of gassed, but I was like, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna chill. We still have like a couple periods that I'm not really involved in, like a individual period. I'm not gonna be doing the drills with them. I'm just gonna make them do the drills and lead the drills. But yeah, and then once we were doing that stuff, I was like, guys, I did fuck all. I haven't done this in years. You guys are all stronger than me, and some of you are stronger than me when I was in my prime. Like, there's guys on this unit that put up 225 like 20 plus times, and I'm like, my best was 15. That's it.
That's still pretty nice.
I mean, yeah, I was pretty strong for my size, but like, there's a dude that's literally shorter than me that does it like 20 times on the, like, he's like a little power lifter. And I'm like, these guys should, be in much better physical shape. And I'll admit, they are in better physical shape. I just know more. Yeah. And I'm better at it because I've done it for like
technique at that point.
like an extra like 10 years probably on top of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, guys, if you just take this as an example of why technique's important, someone as inferior as me as an athlete. I'm not even going to call myself an athlete. You guys are athletes. I'm not an athlete.
Yeah.
I am a fat old coach now.
Yeah.
I have made the transition. Like I'm like 50 pounds over my game weight. Like I've made the transition to fat old coach. If I'm still better than you at this, it's only because I know the technique and I know the responsibilities and I know what the reads are. That is it. So if you guys can understand that that's how important that is, and that's how I went undefeated today with 0 practice, focus on the technique and you will get so much better.
Yeah, I mean, that's a decent learning lesson at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, it was like a little bit of like a, an ego thing for me too.
Of course.
I'm a narcissist, but
1,000%.
But yeah, that's why I said the little cheeky clip in the group chat, like, yo, fat. But the best part too is I was making the guys die laughing because I didn't even put my phone away for this. I had my phone in my pocket the whole day of practice, and like mid rep, I was like taking selfies and putting them in the fucking group chat so I could update my story mid practice. And the boys are like, Coach, you're literally updating your story in the middle of a rep. And I'm like, I got this. So like that was the disrespect. Like I wore cleats, but I was still on social media the whole time.
Oh man.
So it was still a little disrespectful.
You have to.
There was this, it was the very first rep too. On the very first rep, so the thing is as a defensive lineman, it's kind of like a pitcher in baseball. The guy in front of you is trying to block you. You got a couple moves that you have. It's like a pitcher. You have a fastball, curveball, and every time you go up, it's like, what are you going to give him? Are you going to give him your fastball this time? Is he ready for that? So the guy's got to kind of react to you, and you've got to try something to change it up, mix it up, keep him on his toes, keep him off balance so that you can beat him. And then that's just kind of keep him ready. Because the thing with defensive linemen, you might take 60 snaps in a game. If you get 3 sacks, realistically, you only won 3 times out of 60, but that's a huge game. That's a crazy good game. 3-sack game is great. So those 3 moments, you got to think there's 3 moments in a game where you can make a big difference, where you're not just a pylon there. You got to throw your money ball. You got to be able to identify that moment. Be like, it's 3rd and long. That means nothing to you, but it's 3rd and long. Maybe games on the line, they need to get this first down. I'm going to throw my money ball now. I've had him set up for this all day. Let me give him something different he hasn't seen before. That's my go-to. It's my number 1. It's the best move I have. Boom. Make a sack. Huge play. You're a hero.
Nice. Okay.
So that's the idea.
Yeah.
Now, when you're younger, the thing is they only teach you like 2 different moves. A rip, which is like putting your arm under them and pushing them off you. A swim, which you put your arm over them to just go over top of them. Or a bull rush, you just push through them.
Okay.
As you get older and you start getting into college and, you know, this even pushes further into the pros, those are like 1/3 of a component of an actual move.
Interesting. Okay.
So like it's way more complex.
Yeah.
And now I've been telling them, I was like, hey guys, we need to get out of these habits. And like, because some of the guys we're going against on our offensive line aren't that good, they can do things like just run really fast around them sometimes. And I'm like, you're not actually trying a move. You're just showing me you're faster than him by running in a circle. Like,
yeah.
Why don't you try and move? Like we've proven, you've shown me you are faster and more athletic than him. We can do this. But we're not getting better by running around a pylon. We need to actually practice technique to get better. And so one of the moves I was been telling them, I was like, guys, do this. Try it. It's just throw in your arsenal. This is an easy one too. Instead of just running that full circle around them, you run really hard upfield, so he has to really extend himself to keep up with you. And then at the last second, you put your foot in the ground and you run straight through him because he's so like trying to keep up with you. He opens up his base, he opens up his chest to catch you, and he leaves himself with a weak base, and you just flatten him. And so I was telling him, guys, you guys can do this. You can set him up for this. Even if you give him like a couple speed rushes, just run really fast a few times, and he'll think, shit, he's going to do it again. He's ready for it. He's guessing. And then you throw that in there, boom, you can make him look stupid. But no one really got it. Everyone kind of fumbled with it, and they just like, it didn't work. And it was literally the first rep. I didn't say a word. I just lined up, and I did it, and I knocked this dude straight on his ass. And I just remember the slow motion, his eyes open as he's falling on his bum. And I'm just like walking past him, touch the quarterback. We have like a bag to simulate the quarterback. Just got him. I was like, guys, that's what I've been trying to tell you for the last fucking month.
Decent.
But yeah, it was quite amusing. I was pretty sore after. Back was a little tight. Forearm on this side was really tight for some reason. Don't know why. It was, but overall, I didn't fuck up my ankles. I didn't ruin my back, and I was walking quite well the next day. So let's call that a win. I'm not broken.
I did a couple of pull-ups about a week ago, and I felt it for about 4 days.
Oh no!
Like not even kidding.
But that's like you're isolating a muscle group, right? Like that would fuck me up.
That was like my wake-up call of like, oh, I'm not that guy I used to be.
I'm not that.
That was like a casual thing.
You're not that guy, pal. You're not that guy.
Yeah, it was rough. But yeah, man, that's kind of cool.
It was a pretty jokes evening. I don't know if I'll do it anytime soon because I'm not trying to roll the dice.
Yeah,
it was risky.
You gotta. It's just the wild card. You throw it out every once in a while.
Oh yeah, it's good.